Washington is rattling as Congress releases more than 20,000 pages of documents from Jeffrey Epstein's digital archive. And according to the House Oversight Committee, along with reporting from the Wall Street Journal, more than 2,300 emails were decrypted and examined. And within those emails, the name of President Donald Trump appears in over half of all recorded threads, while the Miami Herald confirms he is the single most mentioned figure across the entire Epstein dataset. A fact that instantly forces the United States to confront a question it has avoided for years, a question that now sits at the center of American politics. Why does the name of a sitting president appear this frequently inside the private correspondence of a convicted sex offender? Stay until the end of this video, because what follows goes far beyond anything you've heard so far. When the House Oversight Committee released Epstein's internal emails, the shock was not about the volume of documents, but about how often one name appeared inside them. Because according to the Wall Street Journal, President Donald Trump was referenced across hundreds of email threads involving Epstein's closest associates. And the Miami Herald reinforced this by stating that Trump is the most cited individual in the entire tranche of emails, far exceeding any other political, social, or financial figure. And this fact that his name appears with such density forced Washington to stop pretending the Epstein case was a closed chapter. Because in American politics, a president's name showing up repeatedly inside the private messages of a convicted sex offender is never a trivial coincidence. And it pushed Congress to examine each line, each timestamp, and each context to determine what these emails truly represent. Don't move yet, because the next chapter explains why the Department of Justice is losing sleep over this. As soon as these emails became public, the Department of Justice faced immediate pressure to verify every detail. And according to CNN, the DOJ created a special technical unit to authenticate all emails referencing President Trump, examining server logs, metadata, routing protocols, and the identities of everyone included in Epstein's communication circles. While CBS News confirms that Congress has demanded periodic updates to ensure nothing is minimized or ignored. And what makes this moment historically tense is the unprecedented fact that a sitting U.S. president is the most frequently referenced individual in the private correspondence of Jeffrey Epstein. Something that constitutional experts from the Washington Post describe as a legal vacuum, because the United States has no written procedure for handling a situation in which a sitting president becomes entangled, even indirectly, in a case built from the archives of a convicted sex offender. Stay with me, because next chapter is where you'll understand why Wall Street and the White House are both holding their breath. If the Department of Justice's Digital Forensics Unit verifies the emails, if metadata and server logs align with the findings from Reuters on Epstein's communication infrastructure, and if any witness steps forward to confirm the context of what Epstein wrote, then the United States could face a political crisis with no modern precedent. Because no sitting president has ever been indirectly linked, even through another man's email, to a figure as radioactive as Epstein. And according to CNBC, even partial confirmation of these messages could destabilize financial markets within hours, with global investors pulling capital to wait for clarity. While Western allies told BBC they are monitoring the situation closely because any uncertainty surrounding the American presidency affects international security and diplomatic posture. And all of this could unfold even without a single piece of evidence saying President Trump committed wrongdoing, because the mere presence of his name inside these exchanges is enough to trigger political chain reactions the U.S. has never experienced. If you've made it this far, leave a comment and tell me what you think. And stay with me on this story, because what comes after this is even bigger. To grasp the gravity of this moment, America must remember who Epstein was. And according to the Southern District of New York, Epstein operated a long-running network that recruited and manipulated underage girls using money, influence, and psychological control, while ABC News documented survivor testimonies describing an ecosystem built to trap victims and keep them silent. And this is why any powerful name appearing in Epstein's files carries enormous weight, especially when the Miami Herald confirms that President Trump is mentioned more than any other individual in the decrypted emails. And this does not mean Trump committed a crime, nor does it mean he knew what Epstein was truly doing. But inside the shadowed world Epstein created, any association, even indirect, becomes morally heavy, politically explosive, and impossible for a sitting president to ignore. Are you ready for what comes next? Stay with me. You and True Talk are going all the way to the end. The worst outcome isn't a shocking truth. It's the possibility that the truth never surfaces at all. Because according to CNN, Epstein's network was built on silence, influence, and protective alliances. And NPR warns that if witnesses are too afraid to come forward, If evidence has degraded or disappeared, or if political pressure distorts the investigative process, the United States could be left with a scandal that never receives a full answer, leaving victims without justice, the public without clarity, and the democracy without trust. And the House Oversight Committee has already acknowledged that portions of Epstein's historical record were altered or sealed years ago for legal reasons, raising concerns that crucial pieces of the puzzle may be gone forever. And if that is true, then America may be staring at only the surface of a story far too deep to ever fully decode. Stay here for the final section, because the last question is the one America cannot escape. There is no evidence saying President Donald Trump committed a crime. No court has reached such a conclusion, and nothing in the released files proves wrongdoing by him. But the fact, confirmed by the House Oversight Committee, the Wall Street Journal, and the Miami Herald, is that his name appears extensively throughout Epstein's decrypted emails. And according to Reuters, CBS News, and CNN, the real question is not whether Trump is guilty or innocent, but what happens if these emails are fully authenticated and their context is revealed, and how America will respond if this opens a door into a part of modern political history that the nation is not prepared to confront. Because regardless of what the truth eventually is, it will reshape public trust, presidential legacy, and America's understanding of itself. So if you want this investigation to continue, and you want a part 2, then like and subscribe to let us know this chapter should be opened.